afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you can hear, we're barking feminists up in here in She Bites Media. Good afternoon. I'm your host, Mendelena Lewis, and Raging Feminist. And these are your major Me Too news up to noon for June 6th. Yeah, a VPD officer has taken her life after making sexual harassment complaints and ongoing stress leave. So Constable Nicole Chan committed suicide in January as a result of battling mental health and being on leave for months after she made sexual harassment complaints about VPD members to its force. Police have been focusing on investigating two superior officers, Sergeant Greg McCulloch and Sergeant David Van Patten, who alleged they were in a relationship with Chan. Chan also reported contact with both men to the VPD before she committed suicide. The police complaint commissioner who provides civilian oversight told Chan's family that one of the two investigations into the officers have been concluded, stating that Sergeant McCulloch had engaged in discreditable conduct and received 15-day suspension. He has since retired from the force and hasn't responded to any requests for comment. In July of 2018, Chan sent her sister Jen Chan a text message that made her sister understand the magnitude of toxicity and power that she faced.
The worst part is that my mental state is much worse now because of VPD.
What do you think about seeing that now?
Seeing it now, yeah, I totally understand it.
In July, Jen added that her sister Nicole always had it in the back of her mind that justice wouldn't be served and that the men who abused her would get a slap on the wrist and that she felt hopeless. The federal government has ordered a civilian advisory board tasked with overhauling RCMP's culture of dysfunction. But why aren't they adding former police survivors and whistleblowers on the board? Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodell announced the 13 members who will make up the force's interim civilian advisory board. The board was supposed to be up and running on April 1st, but was delayed until yesterday. The board includes former BC Attorney General Wally Appal and psychologist Gada Hazan. I had the opportunity to get comment from former Waterloo officer and bold whistleblower Kelly Donovan, who says the tactic did not involve well-knowledged, well-informed members, and it makes no sense if the force is looking to make tangible change.
It's incredibly unfortunate that our government does not see value in engaging with whistleblowers and using their experience, their courage, their insight in cases like this where the RCMP is looking to completely overhaul their organization, as Minister Goodale says. Why would you not speak to the people who sacrificed everything to achieve just that? Those people that are on a mission to accomplish change and are doing it completely on their own and at a personal cost.
The board members will serve an 18-month term and is estimated to cost $1.56 million per year. The board has no power to make any binding decisions. Over the last 20 years, the RCMP has spent over $220 million on everything from sexual harassment lawsuits to federal inquiries into its toxic workplace culture and an epidemic of officers, especially whistleblowers, committing suicide. A Canadian restaurant is showcasing women servers in teeny bikinis. The Teeny Bikini Bistro has officially opened its doors in Kamloops, BC, a city that's a 4-hour drive from Vancouver. The appalling owners are subjecting women to grossly dehumanizing work attire as they serve specialty cocktails, a bar menu, and a kids menu for children under 10.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mother. Happy birthday to you.
The bistro promises its clients that it will elevate your palate and warm your soul, presented in an unexpected way. The company has taken to Instagram to hype up its business with photos and video of its female workers in bikinis with the hashtags hot girls, bikini girls, and Kamloops. The owner and manager are both women. Well, these have been your major Me Too news up to noon for June 6th. Please do stay tuned for today's commentary on my personal experience getting trolled by a not all men man. Yeah, yesterday I ended up being trolled by and accosted by a man I was introduced as an ally in social media. This situation played out like this. The man knows a survivor close to him who has been sexually assaulted. I add him on my Facebook and attempt to support the survivor and make a new male ally. It didn't take long to see that this man was not on the same page as me. His posts are a mix of aggressive bro talk and support of survivors, however, by making statements like survivors should be heavily armed so that we can kill the men who attack us. I warned my partner that this man was going to be a problem in the future. Sure enough, 3 days before we launched She Bites, I posted a story about a black man outside his dorm who was about to be tasered or shot by a police officer who was, again, picking up garbage outside his dorm. I comment that the cops are a hazard to society. This is on my personal Facebook page. Let's call him Mr. Red, jumps right into my feed and spews his not all men rhetoric. No, I never went to his page to share my thoughts about his opinions. I calmly write out about 4 examples of systemic toxicity across law enforcement agencies, thinking maybe the guy just doesn't know. He doesn't respond. Then a friend of mine pipes in, gives her 2 cents, and then I post a meme, a not all men meme, to lighten the mood, of course. Well, what does Mr. Red do at this point? He sends me a private message accosting me of being a man hater, and that if that was the case, then he shouldn't be alive. I then sent him the following message before blocking him. I don't know you, Mr. Red. You don't know me. I don't owe you any of my time, thoughts, explanations. I stand up for women like XYZ. We're victims of a larger problem. The fact that you are coming at me with this is in fact the problem. If you care to look at the available statistics, it's actually less than 10% of men who sexually abuse women this way. So the larger problem is that men who know what's going on aren't doing anything about it because they are afraid. It's called complicity. And I know most other women who would know what's about to happen here and what this guy actually does next. He really doesn't stop. He pushes, he got emasculated, and he began to fervently troll behind whatever screen he was on. So he trolled our She Bites Facebook page, put up nasty comments, which I deleted, of course, and then went to our YouTube accounts and disliked our content. I knew right away that this was the type of man that he was. And in fact, it is men like this who try and lynch women in a sort of witch type of way. And in fact, the matter is, these types of men don't love themselves. And I can pretty confidently say I do love myself. And it's pretty obvious that this guy is on the wrong side of the track when he makes comments like survivors should be weaponized. So the problem is really power, dominance, the patriarchy, and complicity and ego, of course. Men who claim they're a feminist but don't treat women in their life well is a clear sign that there is a deeper systemic problem. I hope other women in a similar situation can stand up and do the same. You do not have to allow anyone on your social media. You don't have to let anyone dominate your space, and you don't owe your thoughts or your time to anyone. We aren't here to make friends. We're certainly here to try and force a revolution. So those have been my wily commentary news for today. Please do make sure to tune in tomorrow for our last She Bites daily news for the week. Until then, please do survive, disobey, and document.